Hello and welcome to the tip of the day. I'm Dr. Amy Starr with the Mesa Veterinary Clinic, Paws and Hooves Mole Veterinary Services, and San Francisco Stables. And we're helping El Paso help their pets. So today I want to talk about rabies vaccine. In our area of the world, we just got a notice that the government agency veterinarians are depositing oral rabies vaccine out in the desert and the mountains to try and vaccinate as many coyotes and foxes as possible. And so sometimes we get a call from a client or get a client bringing their pet in that their dog has eaten something strange, a big white pill out in the desert, and so obviously they're very worried. No concerns about this. If you have this in your area as well, no concerns about it. They can eat several of them and not have a problem, but obviously we want to try and discourage that because we want them to be left there for the coyotes and foxes and mountain lions and stuff like that. The oral vaccine is not effective. It's not highly effective, so we do not recommend it, and it's not legal to use in pets because it's only about 30% effective. Obviously, that's our only option in our wild population. We can't catch them and inject them, so we have to use the oral. So it's better than nothing. But in our pets, we do want to go ahead and use the injectable vaccine because that is 98% effective. There is no vaccine that's 100% effective because it depends a lot on the pet's immune system and everything like that. So make sure you don't get your pets vaccinated when they're sick because their immune system isn't as strong and they won't deal with it as well. So I just thought I'd take a couple minutes to talk about rabies in general. Rabies is a virus. There's a lot of myths out there about rabies. Oh, it happens when the temperature is hot or, different things like that. And that's totally false. The only way that rabies passes is by injection of saliva. So the virus is found in the saliva and then it's injected usually via a bite wound to another animal or person. And that's how they get rabies. It is not aerosolized. It's not passed any other way. It is believed that, possibly if you get saliva in your eye or in your mouth or in a cut, then you can also get rabies, but very, 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 very rare. So the time frame between when you get injured, not you, but when a pet or something gets bit by a rabid animal to when they start showing signs is very long, and it's not always the same. It depends on how severe the bite is and where the bite is. So if you get a little tiny bite on your toe, then it's going to take a really long time for that virus to travel up to the brain and cause symptoms. So you could be carrying the virus for a long time and not know it. But if you get mauled on the face or neck, then obviously very quickly you're going to get sick, or your pet's going to get sick. So the main thing is to make sure we stay vaccinated. There is no test for rabies in live animals. So if an animal has been bit, the only way to tell if it has rabies or if an animal has bitten something, the only way to tell that it has rabies is to euthanize it and study the brain. So it's really important to vaccinate because if your pet is found guilty of biting and has no vaccines, then it may be euthanized. So you want to go ahead and vaccinate and protect against that. So there's no test in live animals. They have to be euthanized and tested. The only prevention is vaccine, and there is no cure. If they get bit by a rabid animal, then they will get rabies and they will die or be euthanized. Here in our area, so down in New Mexico and Texas, we don't really see a whole lot of rabies. We see it occasionally in dogs, very rarely. I think we've had like 2 or 3 cases over the last 30 years, and those cases have come across from Mexico. However, we do see it all the time in bats. Every year, either injured or sick or dead bats will get turned into animal control and are tested and are found positive for rabies. So really important, bats are across the country are a common carrier for rabies. It is a myth that they are just a carrier. They do also get sick, but in that time, and they die, but in that time frame from when they get the rabies themselves to when they get sick and die, they're passing it on just like any other animal. So all animals everywhere will die from rabies. So if you find a bat or if your pet finds a bat that's injured or sick, do not touch it. Don't get near it. Try to, capture it with maybe a glass container or something where you're not going to actually touch it. Keep yourself safe. And if you're able to turn it in and have them test it for rabies so that you know. If you get bit by a bat, which most of the time you don't know because the bite is so tiny, but take yourself immediately to start getting injections and vaccines for rabies. So the main point is it's really important to vaccinate, and you want to vaccinate every single year. Every county has different laws. So here in our area, they get vaccinated at 3 or 4 months, and then again at a year, and then every 3 years after that if they stay on time. So if they get vaccinated in the same month that they were due, then they can get the 3-year vaccine. If not, then they have to repeat the 1 year. But every county is different, so check with your local laws and make sure you get your pets vaccinated, not only for rabies but for everything else. And there's no vaccine that's 100%. That's why I say it's 98% effective, because it depends a lot on the animal's immune system. And so if your pet is sick, don't take it to get vaccinated, take it to get treated, and then once it's healthy, it can get vaccinated. Hope this helps, and I hope everybody has a great day, and we'll talk to you later.